Bless up, everyone. BaddaSkat here. Monday meditations. Enough respect to you all. Give thanks for tuning in. It's Monday. It's roughly 4:44 p.m. Eastern Time. So it's time for another episode of Monday Meditations. So if this is your first time tuning in, give thanks. This happens every Monday. How it works: Monday morning, I usually post a short video with the topic of discussion. And these topics are really just meant to get you to think a little bit deeper about things, to expand your consciousness, hopefully help you to become the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And then we come back here, Facebook Live, 4:44 p.m. roughly, and then we discuss that topic in more detail. So give thanks for tuning in. Bless up, Daniel. Enough respect. Hope everyone's feeling nice, feeling happy, feeling healthy. Please feel free to leave any comments that you may have, any questions that you may have as we are going through here in the comments. I'll address them as they come through. Actually, I'll probably address them at the end because that's usually how it ends up being anyway. So feel free to submit your questions and I'll address them at the end here. Shouts out to everyone tuning in. Shouts out to all the sponsors. Give thanks again to Salt Cured. You may be able to listen to this on Salt Cured Radio. So check out saltcured.com and all of the merchandise and links to Salt Cured Radio. And also make sure you subscribe to YouTube, my channel on YouTube, BaddaSkat Music. That way you can catch all of the reruns very easily, centrally located, you know? So give thanks everyone again for tuning in. Today's topic was actually submitted via Instagram. So if you do ever have any topic suggestions, please feel free to send them to me. You can always leave them in the comments. You can message me directly. Hit me up on Instagram or on YouTube or on any of the other platforms. I'm out there and I check all of them myself. So I definitely take all suggestions for Monday meditation topics. And today's is a good one. I'm surprised I haven't done this one already. So, big up Lisa. Give thanks for tuning in. So today's topic is letting go of things that no longer resonate with you or that you no longer resonate with. And when this was suggested to me, I was like, wow, what a great topic, because this is not something that I'm really good at. So I felt, the main reason why I started doing these Monday meditation broadcasts in the very beginning was to, kind of help myself with these different topics that, I think about and that I ponder and I question, and to kind of help me gain a better understanding of the subject as well. And so this is something that I don't consider myself to be very proficient in. So, I like to hold on to stuff. I mean, even as I'm sitting here in the studio, I'm looking around at all the things that I have had for years and years. Like some things I've had for decades in this studio. Some things I've had for decades that I now keep in this studio. So, but I have a lot of things that are like old, outdated stuff. Like I have my very first MIDI keyboard that I ever purchased still. I have my very first DJ controller that I ever purchased still. So I have a lot of things that I hold on to material-wise. But it's not just material stuff that we as humans like to hold on to. This is actually something that I think a lot of people may resonate with, because a lot of people hold on to things that they may not necessarily resonate with for much longer than maybe necessary. I mean, they even make shows, TV shows about this type of stuff. I mean, there are shows about people who do this excessively, such as hoarders or, people who like to just keep things forever. But there's also, just people who hold on to addictions, People hold on to habits. People hold on to things that they've done their entire lives, just as things that they do from children. I mean, we hold on to things like music and things like memories and fears and limitations and subconscious things that usually prevent us from becoming the greatest versions of ourselves that we could possibly be. So letting go of things that you no longer resonate with, I think, is something that a lot of people resonate with. So let me know if you have any examples as well. Please feel free to submit them in the comments as we're going through. But just speaking from personal experience, I've always, even as a kid, I've always felt that I've been a loyal person, or a somebody that you could count on. I haven't had many jobs in my life, because the jobs that I have had, I've worked them out until basically there was I've exhausted all possibilities or all of my resources that I could give out to that particular place. I've that's just kind of my nature. I tend to do things for the long run. I tend to do things go big or go home style. So, I also feel that I hold on to a lot of things from my past. I still carry a lot of things, a lot of interests, a lot of like, I like to listen to the same type of music, or this, I still like the same type of cars, and that type of stuff as well, from things in the past. And a lot of people do this. Nostalgia is not necessarily a bad thing, or holding on to, like, keeping your memories intact is not a bad thing. But sometimes this can be preventative from you reaching your full potential. When people tend to hold on to things that may no longer resonate with them, or that they no longer resonate with beyond a healthy limit, is when it can start to be kind of detrimental to your character. Sometimes it can prevent you from so many opportunities that could have taken you to a much different existence. There's a lot of people that never leave their hometown, that never leave the place that they grew up in. And because of this, they lack a lot of experience within different societies, within different cultures, even within their own country. There's a lot of different cultures just within the country, just within the United States. I mean, you have people who live in coastal areas, people who live inland, people who live in the South, who live in the North, who live in the Midwest, who live in the West Coast, East Coast. There's all different cultures all over the United States. Every particular state even has its own varying culture to a certain degree. And if you never get out and experience any of that stuff, then you don't have those opportunities to learn, to grow, to meet new people, to see new sights, to have new experiences. So holding on to even things like your location can be something that is not necessarily beneficial to the development of your character. So I always recommend that people try to travel as much as possible. Travel is one of the greatest educators ever. And you learn so much when you travel. You learn about different cuisine, different types of foods. You learn different plants that grow, different animals that live in these areas. Again, different types of people, different customs, different, all sorts of things. All sorts of things can be experienced when you let go of things that may no longer be resonating with you. And a lot of times people will justify getting into a situation where they don't have the opportunity to let go of things, and so then they'll keep them and they'll hold on to them, and they'll come up with different excuses and different reasons why it's okay. Like work. This is a big thing. A lot of people will stay at jobs way longer than they should because they justify it for all sorts of stuff, because they're getting paid, because they get benefits, because they get insurance, because they get coverage of different types. Maybe they get stock market involvement. Maybe they enjoy the ice cream parties that get thrown for them and stuff. Maybe they just like the people that work there. That's okay too. But sometimes hanging on to these types of things, hanging on to these jobs, hanging on to these work environments that you no longer resonate with, are actually preventing you from really reaching out for something that could be your greatest potential, that you could have been dreaming about. A lot of people squander their dreams because they are working at a job that they don't like, but they get stuck doing bills and living in a situation where they have things that they have to cover and things they have to take care of, and see, every time, and so they hold on to these things for much longer than they should, which is preventing them from accessing something that could open up a completely different life. And this gives, by letting go of things that you no longer resonate with, you really have the opportunity to do whatever you want, to create whatever type of life for yourself that you want. And sometimes it's the recognition of even something just as simple as a job. That was one thing for me that really helped me realize that, we have this type of control, we have this type of power, is that, you can change your work situation whenever you want to. If you're not happy with your current work environment, then change it. Get a new job. Find somewhere else. Do something different. It's really just that easy. And once you realize that you can do things like that to that degree, you can change whatever you want in your life that you don't like. If you don't like your car, change it. Sell the one you have, get a new one. Take that money, invest it in a new one. Change it. You really have the power to really do all of this. And once you recognize that you do have this, you'll see that it applies to multiple different things within your life. So, I always recommend, that when people are in a spiritual journey, like when they're seeking more spiritual knowledge, one of the first things that I recommend is that they quit their jobs. And mainly I do this to remove this current limitation that they have on themselves, that they need to stay at this place. And 2, to force them, to put them into a situation where they have to do something different. Because this is, it's an opportunity for new experience, for a new environment, for new people. There's lots of different cases out there where people are working in a job that they don't necessarily enjoy, but they meet somebody who has similar interests outside of the job, in which they can collaborate on and become a new entity, become a new project, a new whatever. A lot of times that happens with musicians. Musicians will meet producers at their work. They were working at the same telemarketing job, but he found out that this guy makes beats, and so now they produce songs, and now they're famous and whatever. So, there's lots of examples of this. But, imagine if some of these people had, stayed at that first place that they worked and decided, this is just what I'm going to do. I'm just going to sit here and flip burgers all day, and that's just what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. That definitely keeps you in a certain limit, in a very enclosed realm of capability. So letting go of those things that no longer resonate with you opens up whole new realms of possibility. So yeah, letting go of things that no longer resonate with you, or that you no longer resonate with, also has the potential to serve you in a health manner. So like a lot of times, a lot of the health issues that people deal with are manifestations of things that they are withholding within themselves, past experiences, past traumas, past stress, and these things are now manifesting themselves as physical ailments within the human body. That's a very real thing. This is a very real thing. People can hold on to something so much that it can make them physically sick. Physically sick. Yet once they relinquish this, sometimes it's even just a thought. Once they relinquish this thought, they get better again. They get their health back. They get their lives back. So, it has holding on to things that you no longer resonate with. It sounds like it's such a like a cliche type of thing, but even still, just the use of those words, holding on to a frequency that no longer serves you, that you no longer have purpose with, is going to create conflict. It's going to create a clash in some area. Usually it's going to be within yourself. It's either going to be within your mental stability or something physical, some sort of mental or some sort of physical manifestation. But and it's the same type of thing like in the physical world. If there are conflicting frequencies, then there's going to be some sort of response. Friction is conflicting frequencies. Usually it's from particulates. When particulates are rubbing up against each other because they're not of the same resonance. They're not the same material. They have different vibrations. This results in heat. So if you are in it, let's just say this is you and your work. So you're working at this place every day, and you're going against all of these different particulates that are not of your same wavelength, not of your same makeup. So you're constantly getting this friction. You're constantly getting this conflict. It's going to generate heat. It's going to manifest itself in some way. There's going to be some sort of reaction for it. So, again, either it's going to be something mentally that you're going to be dealing with, stress, lack of sleep, lack of appetite, lack of social capabilities, or it's going to be something physical, which is going to be ultimately a manifestation of one of these mental things. So it's going to be physical pain, ailments, diseases, even injuries result from this. That's right. If you hold in certain negative thoughts about yourself, or about your situation, or about whatever it may be, if you hold on to these things that you're not resonating with, they could lead you to have greater potential to injure yourself. Whatever it may be, because your mind is preoccupied on it. Your mind is not directly capable of accessing all of the data that it's receiving in front of it, because it's already being used for these background processes that really don't serve you at all. So letting go of these things definitely has the ability to affect you physically and health-wise as well. A lot of times also people will hold on to grudges or onto personal indifferences that they may have with other people. This is something that, I have been trying to consciously work on within myself, because it's definitely something that, I am I have been dealing with for a while. So like, if I have a conflict with somebody, if I have a disagreement with somebody, if there is something that means like an argument that I have with somebody, I will hold this within myself. And a lot of times, and I've been doing this since I was a kid, a lot of times what will happen is that I'll end up mentally putting myself into situations where I'm like having conversations with these people, and they're not there, of course, but this conversation is happening in my head, and I'm saying all of these things that I'm feeling and all of these, things that I'm harboring within myself, but it's not actually being said physically. It's not actually being put out into the universe. I'm not actually saying it to this person in their face. I'm just running through the situation in my head over and over and over and over. And so these types of things over time, again, definitely affect you. First off, think of all of the time that you have now given to this situation, this fairy tale situation that you've created in your head, whether it be based on a past conflict or a perceived conflict even. But anytime that you have these types of dialogues within your head with opposition, it's giving power to that situation. It's giving it energy, making it more real, making it more in your physical realm. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what's actually real and what's imaginary. So if you're imagining these conflicts constantly, then your mind really thinks that you're having these conflicts. Your mind really thinks that you are in these situations, and this can lead to depression. This can lead to all sorts of mental ailments from holding on to these things that really don't exist, that do not resonate with you, that do not serve you, that are not meant to be in your life. Let it go. Let that stuff go. There are books written about these types of things. Have you ever heard of the book Don't Sweat the Small Stuff? And it's all small stuff. Let that ish go. What else? What were some of the things? Like I feel like I've heard of these books since I was a kid, but this holding on to things that no longer resonate with you, there are very few instances where this is going to have a positive outcome. I'm really finding a hard time to, I'm really having a hard time to find any. But, let's just say there are very few instances where this would be positive. Because again, it's just even in the nature of the linguistics, even in the nature of the words, resonate. If you're holding on to a resonance, if you're holding on to a frequency that is not in your frequency, it's going to create conflict. If the notes don't match, if the notes aren't in the same key, that's not good music. So that same thing exists in real life. The same thing exists in the physical realm as well. So let go of those things. Let go of those things that you don't really feel are meant to be in your life. And this could be anything. This could be, again, physical things. This could be emotional things. This could be past experiences, traumas, relationships. Could be current stuff, whatever. If it's not resonating with you, if you don't feel that it's something that you enjoy, then don't do it. Let it go. Let it go. So it has the has the opportunity to be much more beneficial to you than trying to hold on and make it be something that it's not. So if it doesn't resonate with you, if you don't resonate with it, let it go. Just let it go. I'm saying this also to myself so I can watch this again later too. Just let it go. It's alright. New stuff will come. New opportunities will appear. You will manifest new things for yourself the same way you manifested those old things for yourself that you want to hold on to. You'll still manifest new things for yourself as well. So it's alright to let that go. You know? So I did see some questions come through. Give thanks again everyone for tuning in. Give thanks everyone for sharing the video. Give thanks for supporting the Truck Back Tour. Hit me up if you would like a Truck Back Tour stop. I'm also thinking about I'm not doing the guided meditations on Monday nights physically anymore as of right now. Possibly maybe moving it to a different day, but I'm also thinking about doing recorded versions of the meditations that I lead in these guided sessions so that you can watch them at any time, again, say on YouTube. So make sure you go to the BaddaSkat YouTube channel and go ahead and subscribe there, just in case I start dropping those without warning, because I like to do that sometimes. But give thanks for tuning in. I did see some questions come through. Big up Lisa Miller. Give thanks for tuning in. Lisa says, expectations/ideals are difficult to let go of and can cause blocks in growth as well. Absolutely. This is a big thing that I have issues with, is having particular expectations and certain ideals that I like to upkeep within my life. You know, I mean, I have kept this ideal of, you know, physical devotion going for 20 plus years. So, you know, or almost 20 years now. Wait. Yeah, it'll be 20 years this year. So, for nearly 20 years. But, you know, and I have expectations of people as well, you know, and that can also lead to, you know, disappointments. So I'm trying to let go of those things as well and just let people be who they are. Let people be their own person and not expect people to act a certain way. But, yeah, that can definitely cause a lot of blocks in your growth. Great point, Lisa. Great point. Excuse me. Big up Dale. Enough respect. Dale says, I hold on to physical and mental things because it breaks up my normal. That drives my anxiety up, so it's easier to just keep everything. Yeah. That's a big thing. And that's a human characteristic, okay? That's not any deficiency or any type of like you know, any ill characteristic, okay? That's common. People like be comfortable. People like normal. People like consistency, normalcy. And this is something that they will, again, hold on to and force into existence sometimes, even when it's not there. But it's because we enjoy it. You know? I mean, we enjoy it. We like to have things just be normal and to just, you know, go about how they've always been, and things that we can, you know, predict or anticipate. We've been in this situation before. We know how it's going to work out. We know what's going to happen. That brings comfort. That's okay. But the only thing that does limit is growth. You know, bonsai trees stay small because they're always in the same pot. You know, a tree that is bonsai'd will only reach a certain potential, mainly because it's restricted on its ability to grow. You know, it's not given the proper space and conditions to have full root potential, so it only produces a small version of itself. These things happen naturally too. If a pine cone drops in an area that's not going to get proper light, proper water, or have proper nutrition, it's not going to grow to be a proper tree. It will be a small version of itself. Absolutely. These things happen in nature. So, the same thing can happen to humans. If we hold ourselves in these small pots, in these small containers, eating the same food, getting the same nutrition, getting the small, cultural influence, it's going to limit our growth. So we're just going to be bonsai humans. So try not to be a bonsai human. Try to become a fully, potentially expanded and evolved human. But I'm right there with you, Dale. Look at all this stuff that I keep, man. I got lots of physical stuff I hold on to as well, So, and then I'm always collecting old physical stuff too that somebody else let go of, that I decided, oh hey, I want to hold on to this now. So, enough respect, man. Enough respect. Yes, Lisa says truth. Yes, yes, Mark. Big up Mark Boltwood. Bolt's on board. Shouts out to Mark. Keep an eye out at BaddaSkat.com. I'm going to be dropping some Bolt's merchandise very soon. Make sure you do go check out BaddaSkat.com for all of the latest merchandise. Bolt's makes pendants and rings and all sorts of cool stuff from recycled skateboards. So, I support that to the fullest. This is one from an old show. But yeah, shouts out to Bolts. Keep an eye on the website for that. Bolt says, same here with the self-payout of issues with others. I now ask if I should address things with the outside force or with self to move on to the let go. It has helped me get out of the trap of the emotional holding. Great example, like a disease, it perpetuates dis-ease. Never feel bad for asking for help, whether it be from the universe, from whatever particular outside force you believe in, or from other people. Never feel bad about asking for help, man. There is no shame in asking for help to better yourself. Whether that be mentally, emotionally, whatever. Because if not, then the only one who's really going to suffer is you. So, and the worst somebody could say is no. And then you just move on. So, but yeah, man, definitely. Having that imbalance will manifest itself in different areas of your life. Disease is a dis-ease. It's an imbalance. It's a lack of ease, a lack of flow. So, great point, man. Enough respect. Yes, Feliciano, bless up. Give thanks for tuning in. Bless up, Raquel. Give thanks. Ricky's my little sister, so big up, Ricky. Give thanks for tuning in. She says, letting go is also something... Letting go is also allowing change, and change is something I struggle with. Haha. Ding, ding, ding. That's also definitely something that I struggle with as well. Change is, or has been for a long time, something that has, for sure, prevented me from trying new stuff, from doing new things, from meeting new people, from having new collaborations, from having new bandmates, from having all sorts of stuff. I mean, change is definitely something that I think a lot of people fear or have resistance towards, which is really kind of limiting, because there's one thing that is constant, is that things will always change. A seed will not always be a seed, and if so, then it never becomes its full potential. You know, there has to be change. There has to be development. There has to be change in regards to growth and to, expansion and to evolution. All of that requires change. All of that requires new areas, new experience. So, and in order to get to those areas, you may need to let go of what situation, experience, area that you may currently be in. So, sometimes that's necessary, and especially if you feel like these things are kind of keeping you up at night, then what I've learned recently is that those are the things that you need to pay attention to. Those are the things that you need to kind of jump into head first, because they're presenting themselves to you. They are making themselves known. So address them, give them that attention, and it'll only help to relieve it faster. So, yeah. So, Feliciana says, a little off subject, but what's your take on the Texas situation? I just keep thinking of Joe Biden repeating the phrase, dark winter, during the presidential race. I did not watch the presidential race, so I do not know anything that Biden has said in regards to Texas. I mean, we have a lot of different factors that influence weather and the effects of weather throughout the world. And, I think that really what we see and what we're starting to see in these types of situations are more of a response to these types of stimulus, whether it be more orchestrated or more cause and effect, from our human parasitical tendencies. But I don't know anything in regards to the political situation about it. I don't. I'm not doing the politics, man. I'm not doing the politics. Zen. So, but give thanks, enough respect. So yeah. Holding on to things that don't resonate with you, it's going to cause conflict in some aspect. It's going to manifest itself in some sort of disagreement somewhere within your life. Mentally, physically, emotionally. It's going to manifest itself somewhere within your existence. It's also going to limit your ability to grow into your full potential as well. It's going to limit your ability to have new experience. It's going to limit your ability to gain new education, to gain new insight, to have new spiritual encounters. So holding on to things that no longer resonate with you really only is a self-imposed limitation on you becoming your greatest potential. Don't be a bonsai human. Let go of the small pot mentality, the small pot lifestyle, and let your roots really dig down and grow into whatever they may need to, And this will allow you to become the best version of yourself. So, big up. Anthony says, letting go. I just went and saw our brother's J.D. Rogers bench at the cemetery. Definitely not letting go. Just had to go see him. I miss my best friend. Yeah, man. Letting go of human interaction is definitely something that a lot of people have a hard time dealing with, especially when somebody may happen to pass or move suddenly, or unexpectedly. Again, because it's normal, because it's comforting. We get used to and we enjoy comfort as humans, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it can be limiting. It can prevent you from accessing your greatest potential. So, especially when it regards things that you had no control or influence in at all. You know, not to mention, you know, in that aspect, you know, really, he's still there. You know, it's just in a different realm. You just gotta learn how to connect in that other realm. It's very possible. So, you know, let me know if you need some techniques, man. I got you. I got you. So, hit me up. Enough respect, Anthony. Enough respect. Give thanks every single time. Bless up, JD. Give thanks. Shouts out to JD Rogers. If you are interested, I gotta get this up on the website too. I don't have this on the website yet, but I need to. This is the Taking Flight album that was produced here in Dubshot Studios by me, BaddaSkat. It's an instrumental album, and it is physically made possible by JD and Herbal Remedy Clothing. JD paid to get this produced physically, to get the CD printed. So shouts out to JD. Enough respect. Enough respect. Lisa says, maybe all move forward with spiritual growth. Definitely. Definitely. Feliciano says, we must recognize the synchronizations in our lives and follow the signs. The answers to our problems are usually right in our face, in plain sight. Absolutely. Absolutely. I support that 100%. So, all that stuff is clues, you know? It's like we're on a big where in the world is Carmen Sandiego mission, and those are all the clues that we have to follow. Right? Who's holding on to memories now? Bless up, Anthony. Forward, upward, always. Yes, I. Forward ever. Backward never. Because that's really how it goes. Zian? Yes, Feliciano says The Truman Show. I've seen that once, but maybe I need to go check it again. Enough respect. Yeah, thanks again for tuning in. Shouts out. If you're watching this again on a rerun, feel free to leave your comments, leave your questions below, and I'll address them as they come through. Give thanks again to all sponsors. Give thanks to Culture Shock, Natural Photography and Framing, Raised Fist Propaganda, Bolts on Board, Salt Cured, St. Pete Terps, Ocean Grade Sunglasses. Man. God, give thanks. Urban Roots, Hydroglyphics. Shouts out to everyone. Give thanks for your support. Non-stop. Magical Butter. Magical Butter. Big ups. Non-stop. 1000%. I'll see you guys next week. Enough respect.